today's Powerboost. My name is Ananta, and it's very good to be with you again, especially on this Independence weekend. So our topic today is declare your independence. Of course, not everywhere in the world today or this weekend, or to be exact, July 4th is Independence Day. But you can declare your independence today and have it be so for all time. So you need not be given permission or wait for any special period in which you become aware of how independent you can be. So the question is, how independent are you? How much of your thinking, how much of your actions, how much of your attitude is independent? And to the extent that you can be independent in a collective environment is very, very important. More often than not, though, how we conduct ourselves, our appearance, how we think of things is too often given to us by others. Right now, there are people who are determining what you are going to appreciate next spring, or next summer, or next fall, or maybe the next car, or maybe the next genre of music. And so to the extent that you can chart your own course, even in an environment where we are by design a single body, it is important that you take note of the extent to which you can be a leader in that direction, because there are others who are leading you. And so what we want to focus on today is how can we do that so that we're not only benefiting ourselves, but the whole collective, rather than turning it over to others who might not necessarily have your interest or the collective interest in mind. And so when we think of being independent, we want to be independent thinkers, and we also want the kind of information that we're choosing to make decisions are ours based on our own assessment and based on our own judgment. And so you should honor that independence and not just take it for granted. Every morning that we awaken and face the day, there are certain questions that we face, but more often than not, they're not the kinds of questions that would make the difference that as an independent thinker you would want to make. What is happening most of the time, a lot of decisions we're making are how we can blend in rather than how we can stand out. And so with that kind of decision making, we end up following rather than leading. And it takes courage to lead. It takes courage to not follow the herd, to take what we might call the path not chosen by the majority. And so it's a great opportunity to be very, very decisive about that. Meaning, know that you have the power to make the kinds of choices that influence others. Sometimes we say you want to color the company you're in rather than to be colored by their company. And if we make those choices more often based on our own understanding, based on our own conclusions, then we make the kind of difference in our lives every day, at the end of which we can be very satisfied and truly independent. So we want to approach today and every day with that mindset. We want to approach today and every day with that conviction and with that understanding that you can make that significant difference in how your world is. And you, by making the right choices, you will be able to have the kind of influence and not be influenced by others. So every day, starting today, not just on the 4th of July or wherever you are in the world, make today your Independence Day, where you no longer are driven by the circumstances, but that you create those circumstances for yourself and make the kind of difference that makes the impact that you want to make. Keeping in mind, of course, that we are part of a whole. We're part of a mosaic that is connected, and use that connection in the way that has you be making the kind of influence that you want to make. And so too often we are just following. And so ask yourself that question and get the kind of answers that you want in terms of the choices that you're making towards so many things that you are able to have an influence on that you are not exercising. And so what we're looking for today is to have the leadership in you emerge, to have the influence that you can have make that difference, so that we're not just resigned to the way things are. You are, like everyone else, in a position to make a significant difference and to make changes, so that we don't have to just accept things the way they are. You can go the other way. You can take that path not chosen. And when you can do that, you are exercising that quality, that independent choice that allows you to be able to declare yourself free and at liberty to choose, so that you're always at that choice. And every day that you awaken, you should be waking up with that thought in mind. You know, more often when we get up in the morning, we are mostly concerned with how well we might look. And so there's another way you can wake up. Instead of being concerned with whether or not you are looking good, you can make the choice of being good. And so if you are kind and compassionate and considerate every day, then that would make a very huge difference in the world. It would send out the kind of message that the world needs now, a message of unity and a message of harmony. Because again, the choice is yours. And what you need to be thinking about each day is taking responsibility for those choices. So let today be your Independence Day, and make that choice every day. And then it will become part of your own way of being. And it will determine every day the kind of day that you will have, that you will be satisfied with, where you are making a significant difference. So stay with that, be with that today, and remember that you're part of this great mosaic. You know, John Donne, in a very famous passage from his great work, reminded us that no man is an island unto himself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the domain. And so he went on to say that every man's death diminishes me because I'm involved in mankind. Therefore, never send to say for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. And that means everything that emanates from you has an impact everywhere. And you can choose that sound, you can choose that vibration, you can choose that influence. And this way, you are truly independent. Om Shanti.